Please be seated. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite Mr. Chris Tobin, representative of the Darug people, to offer the traditional welcome to country. Mr. Tobin.
Thank you. Warami, Nalawa, and welcome to the lands of the Wallamedigal. I belong to one of the local Aboriginal families of the Darug people, the traditional custodians over this part of the country. I wish to thank the University for their acknowledgement of us and for the invitation to welcome you here this morning. That acknowledgement is important for our people and much appreciated, particularly by our elders. Education is highly valued in Aboriginal culture as well. Knowledge meant survival, and our elders are traditionally accorded great respect for their accumulated wisdom and experience. My family descend from Yarramundi, a respected elder and cleverman of the Burrabrongal clan during the early years of colonisation. He saw that our survival in this new world could best be secured if we could learn more about it. As such, he enrolled his daughter, Maria, into the Native Institution, a school set up in 1815 by Governor Macquarie himself, offering formal education to Aboriginal children. Maria spent several years there and used her newly acquired skills to lobby and ultimately secure some land for herself and her family out along the Richmond Road. Other Aboriginal families soon joined them, and it became known as the Blackstown, where present-day city of Blacktown gets its name from. We are very proud of her, as I'm sure your families are of you here this morning. And with good reason. Your progress progresses us all. Your advancement is our advancement. Now that was perhaps better understood in traditional times when clan groups were smaller and people abided by the strict sharing laws, which meant that the food that you caught and brought back got distributed throughout the rest of the camp. Your efforts and good fortunes were shared with everyone and literally nourished the community. And you in turn were looked after by them. Yes, we can live quite beautifully when we get clever about it. Our Aboriginal ancestors certainly lived well in many respects, and I use occasions like this to offer them to yourselves as a benchmark or a model on how good we should expect our lives today. You see, when Captain Cook arrived here a little over 240 years ago, he described the people he encountered at Botany Bay as one of the happiest people he'd ever met in the world. They had nothing, he wrote, but the tools that they carried. They made shelters from the bark of trees without cutting the trees down. They harvested food from the land without tilling the earth. In traditional times, everyone was accorded rights to the country or clan area where he or she was born into. So there was no homelessness, and no rich and poor either. Everyone had pretty much the same amount of gear, what you could carry. There were no armies or jails or even police. We have no history of slavery or empire building, no kings. People cooperated to collect the resources which were needed, and then they were distributed according to strict Aboriginal law. Our lands were maintained in the natural state. Rivers were clean and unpolluted, with people drinking out of them as they have done here for the past 20,000 years. Now remember, this is not an ideal, this was normal life. And so I don't think there's any reason why we should expect less for ourselves and our children than what our ancestors enjoyed. Admittedly, there's a lot more of us now. We've got to get clever about that. That's where you people come in. So I would actually say expect great things from your lives and do great things. There's still a lot of magic in the world, and each day presents opportunities where we can make a difference and help create a future worthy of our children. Together we can do this. We can all do our bit. I'll do mine now by winding up and letting you good people graduate and get on with it. All right, just congratulations to all of you and all the best in our collective futures. Thank you. Welcome to country.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to introduce the Chancellor of Macquarie University, the Honourable Michael Egan. Mr. Egan.
Well, thank you, Chris Tobin, for your welcome to country. Well, graduands, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and I see we've got a couple of babies today, which is great. But one thing is certain, during a ceremony that takes about an hour and a half, babies make a noise or sometimes they cry. And when they do that, please do not feel that you need to take them outside. All of us, I'm sure, can put up with the sound of a baby crying. We've all heard worse than that. I was a Member of Parliament for 25 years, so I can certainly put up with it. But in any event, what we've discovered here from experience, that if a baby cries throughout a graduation ceremony, they're back within 25 years to get a PhD. So please don't worry if the baby starts to cry. Well now, it's my very great pleasure as Chancellor of Macquarie University to preside at this very important ceremony today. First, let me welcome all of our graduands, and I hope today will be a very happy and memorable occasion for all of you. But you'll only enjoy the day if you relax a bit. Some of you look relaxed, but some of you look as though you're still about to sit for an examination. I can assure you, you have passed your exams, so there's really nothing to worry about. The very worst thing that can happen is that when you're up here on the stage, you trip and fall over. That has happened. We've got that taken care of though. We just pick you up and we go on with the ceremony. So just relax and make sure that you have a great day, because you deserve to take pride in your graduation, because completing a degree is never easy. You need an intelligent and inquiring mind, you need determination and perseverance, and you need to make many sacrifices. So welcome and congratulations to each and every one of you. Today I'd also like to welcome, and especially welcome, those of you who are sitting behind our graduands as their invited guests. Because if you think about it for a moment or two, you've all done very well too. The very fact that you're here, the fact that you've been invited by one of our graduands to share one of the great days of their lives is proof positive that you've been very important in their lives and in the successes that we celebrate today. So mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, cousins, sons and daughters, grandmothers and grandfathers, friends, husbands and wives, partners, boyfriends and girlfriends, lovers, or whatever you are, congratulations, and thank you for celebrating this great occasion with us. I don't want you to think either that observing today's graduation is the end of your role, because I have at least one very important service for you to perform for our newest graduates, as they'll soon become. I want you to make sure that the degrees they receive today are never ever put in a bottom drawer, but are always proudly displayed in a position of prominence. In other words, if our graduands are too self-effacing or too shy to proclaim their own success, you make sure you do it for them. Now, the ceremony that we're about to participate in is one of the world's oldest social rituals. For centuries, graduates have been donning robes just like the ones our graduands are wearing today, and participating in ceremonies just like this one. Indeed, there are some 50 universities in the world which can trace their history back more than 500 years. Macquarie, by comparison, is very young, only 49 years of age. But in those 49 years, we've come a long way. We now have more than 140,000 Macquarie graduates living in more than 140 countries. Macquarie is a very modern and outward-looking university. We're regarded as one of Australia's leading research universities and are currently extending our research as we are our course offerings and facilities. We're always trying to engage with the world around us. We have forged strong alliances with the community and with industry and are keen to establish more. On your way here this morning, you may have seen our Macquarie University Hospital, just 3 years old, which, as well as its primary purpose of treating sick people, is also used by the students and academics in our School of Advanced Medicine. We are the only university in Australia with its own private hospital. There are a number in the United States, but we're the only university in Australia. You may also have seen our new library, which was opened, I think, last year, or it might have been the year before, which is a fabulous addition to our university, and I think the envy of almost every university in the land. This year we also opened our new Advanced Hearing Hub, which is a world-leading institute dedicated to advances in hearing, speech and language science. So we're looking forward and we're on the move. We want Macquarie always to be a leader in teaching and learning and a leader in the accumulation of knowledge and understanding. In other words, an ideal community of scholars. And graduands, in just a few minutes, it will be my great honour to confer your degrees upon you and welcome you as lifelong members of that community of scholars we proudly call Macquarie University. Thank you.
Chancellor, I call on Ms Anna Rowe, who is graduating today with a Doctor of Philosophy, to speak on behalf of the graduating group.
Chancellor, members of the University, fellow graduates and guests, it is a pleasure and a privilege for me to be invited to speak on behalf of the candidates graduating today at Macquarie University. We are here with family and friends, our teachers and university leaders, to celebrate our achievements and to express our gratitude. We graduating students have had different journeys that bring us together on this great occasion. For all of us, it's taken hard work, sacrifice, discipline, persistence, and self-belief. The focus of my PhD was emotions and learning, and I looked at feedback. We have all experienced many emotions while studying. My research showed that positive and negative emotions affect all learning. These include happiness, interest, gratitude, pride, anger, boredom, and fear. I experienced many of these emotions on my own roller coaster ride while writing my thesis. Fear when I presented a paper at my first conference, frustration as I struggled with final completion dates, anger when I felt stuck and wasn't progressing, excitement when I received positive feedback on drafts from supervisors, and pride when I finally saw a printed copy of my thesis. No matter what degree or program you've undertaken, likely you've experienced similar highs and lows. Frustrations with setbacks, anxiety before exams, pride when receiving a good mark, curiosity or interest when learning about something new, excitement when engaging in class discussion. Progressing along our academic journey, today we experience pride and open curiosity as we celebrate the end of one chapter and the start of another. In this next phase of our life, we can remember that learning doesn't end at university and remind ourselves of the benefits of lifelong learning. We can take advantage of opportunities and continue to learn and grow. Many of you will be entering your chosen professions for the first time. Some of you are transitioning into further degrees and others taking up interesting projects. Students participating in my research commented on how teachers helped them to overcome negative emotions which interfered with their learning. One student told me of the frustration she experienced when she struggled to learn a technique which was a requirement of her profession. Her tutor spent considerable time with her until she mastered the technique, which she said made her feel good in the end rather than frustrated. I'm sure we will face challenges after university, and I hope we can reflect on our experiences and keep a positive outlook. Challenging situations often provide valuable learning experiences. Students in my research also highlighted the importance of student-teacher relationships, with many expressing their gratitude and appreciation of the care and dedication shown by Macquarie teaching staff, who often went above and beyond what was expected to assist and encourage them to succeed. With this in mind, I wish to thank the university for providing so many opportunities and support, particularly from my supervisors, who have been a great source of inspiration. I would also like to thank staff from the Faculty of Business and Economics, both academic and professional. We've all experienced excellent teaching here at Macquarie, with lecturers and tutors who have guided us through the course of our studies, both academically and personally. For those of us who also work at Macquarie, I wish to say a big thanks to our colleagues. I received much support from my colleagues at the Learning and Teaching Centre, particularly my manager. In thinking of gratitude, family and friends also come to mind immediately, many of whom have made significant personal sacrifices to be able to see us graduate and are here with us today. On a personal note, I would like to thank my family and friends, particularly my mother and grandmother, for their unlimited love, support and encouragement. I'm sure that these sentiments are echoed by all graduates assembled here today. So on behalf of all graduates, I extend a heartfelt thank you to the parents, grandparents, partners and friends who have been so important in helping us achieve our goals. In reflecting on the emotions of pride and joy, I'd like to say thank you to all present here today and those not able to join us who've made such a significant contribution to our success. Fellow graduates, congratulations on completing your degree and finalising this chapter in your life. I wish you every success in your chosen professions. Thank you.
Well done, Anna, and congratulations on your PhD. You obviously cried through a graduation ceremony some years ago, so it's always worth remembering that. You mentioned your mother and your grandmother, who I think you said were here. We had an occasional speaker the other day, in fact the former Prime Minister of Australia, Bob Hawke, and he said the most important decision he ever made in his life was his choice of parents. And that's always true. So congratulations to your mum and congratulations to your grandmother. And I hope you have a very long association with Macquarie University. Thank you very much. Well, graduates, or graduands, you're not graduates yet. We now come to the key part of the ceremony, which is the conferring of degrees, and it's the part of the ceremony that always worries me a little bit, because I'm assured that if I confer a degree on someone who's not eligible to receive it, there's nothing I can do to take it back. So I have to make absolutely certain that each and every one of you is eligible to graduate. I have to get an assurance from the Deputy Registrar, Mr. Jonathan Wiley over there, that none of you have ever been late for a class, none of you have ever missed a class, none of you have ever been late in submitting an assignment. Jonathan, can you please give me that assurance?
Chancellor, I certify that all candidates being presented here today and those who are absent have satisfied the requirements of the Academic Senate for the degrees they are to be awarded. Would all candidates for admission to degrees please stand?
Graduands, in the name of the Council of Macquarie University and by my authority as Chancellor, I admit each of you present and those who are absent to the degrees for which you have qualified. Graduates, congratulations.
Please be seated. Chancellor, the graduates at this ceremony are from the Faculty of Business and Economics. This is the largest faculty at Macquarie and one of the largest in Australia. A broad range of programs in some of the most exciting and topical areas of business and economics are offered, which continue to be in high demand domestically and internationally. Graduates have recorded starting salaries and employment levels well above the average for all Australian business schools. Research in this faculty is cutting edge and innovative and feeds into the teaching, giving students the best possible learning experience. The faculty includes research and study areas in accounting, actuarial studies, applied finance, economics, management and marketing. Chancellor, I now call on Professor Lee Wood, Associate Dean, Learning and Teaching of the Faculty of Business and Economics, to present the graduates. Professor Wood.
Chancellor, I present to you graduates from the Faculty of Business and Economics whom you have admitted to degrees. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Dr. Anna Zudzewska-Rowe, for a thesis entitled Feedback in Higher Educational, Personal, Relational and Emotional Dimensions. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Accounting, Hadi Shihata. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Accounting CPA Extension. Shiwei Ai. Yeji An. Juliana Saron Branco Minotti. Chi Jung. Bofan Chen. Fungjie Chen. Dijen Chen. Tongru Fong. Yan Gu. Han Dong Jiang. Kai Kang. Kisiok Lee. Shirley Lee. Zhongyang Li. Jie Lu. Long Ma. Yue Ma. Dong Ma. Nguyen Tan Huynh. Keiji Oba. Jing Jiao Peng. Yu Chin. Jing Chao. Jie Song. I Jing Wong. B.A. Wong. Yu Wong. Ji U. Chen Yang. Lu Yuan. Nari Yuan Trakal. Jing Zhong. Yin Chen Zhong. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Applied Finance, Shui Yuan. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Jin Yong Liskaman. Sarah Kappa. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Commerce, Muhammad Abdul Sater. Zafrul Ahmed. Emel Leila Akdogan. Emily Aman. Lauren Michelle Andrews. Aprilia Dwi Atta. Clarissa Judith Orazeb. Engen Agen. Madeline Amanda Bandian. Natalie Bastagian. Lucas Brullier. Anna Bobroff. Justin Camilleri. Timothy Adam Casey. Ronan Patrick Swami Chanda. Brandon Cheng. Stanley Tsui Kwan Cheng. Cho Yui Chung. Cho Wa Richard Chung. Ka-Ming Chung. Yunbiel Cho. Wingzi Chung. Jasmine Considine. Jack Harrison Curtis. Olivia Ho Yung Dang. Callum Noel Davies. David Nicholas Deavy. Kate Melissa Donacho. Declan Thomas Dowd. Joy Dynasty. Lucy Alice Ewing. Zarina Grace Flores. Dirish Govenda. Louise Griffiths. Ling Gui. Daniel Hepworth. Emmeline Margaret Hickey. Fang Hu. Joan Kelvin Huang. Glenaldi Janto. Yichuan Jin. Ran Jin. Sushila Kamalakanan. Pui Yi Stephanie Khan. Xenia Kalova. Upasana Kamacharya. Artemisia Karozis. Miranai Kim. Yo Ming Ko. Arthur Chun Wen Kuo. Hao Quinn Lee. Xiao Liang. Vu Song Lim. Jun Fei Lin. Lin Lia. Chang Lia. Wanyan Alice Liu. Sisi Mongsiluo. Ahmed Mahmood. Yvonne Mong. Stephanie Danita Morabito. Hirosugu Murakami. Ka Ho Ng. Chun Lam No. Kwok Min Nguyen. Alexandra Parker. Joel Darcy Patterson. Anna Lisa Pepu. Chantel Perlado. Yufan Chi. Nirajan Ray. Kiara Marie Ramos. Abdullah Rahmed Rana. Alexis Manning Rogers. Rick Saunders. Waylam Sito. Meni Sum. Francis Lou Siasat. Jason Fu Shahudin. John Smalios. Timothy William Stanway. Sean Stewart. Melissa Sito. Yuhan Tang. Alex James Timbrell. Jocelyn Shijia Chin. Tomik Torasiam Milagedi. Julie Ho Tran. Sophie Claire Treneman. Choping Chung. Jack Turnbull. Sarah Vega. Kirsty Lee Vanderpoel. Laura Carmen Van Katwick. Kevin Villanueva. Stanley Wong. Harrison Webb. Ying Wei. Harold Dade Wiafi. Jessica Chiki Wong. Wing Shan Wu. Yang Yang. Marie Eunice. Jen Yuan Jung. Kun Jung. Chow Chow Jong. Chancellor, that completes this morning's presentation of the graduates from the Faculty of Business and Economics.
Well, did you like that? That glorious voice, ladies and gentlemen, belongs to Angela Brewer. Would you like to hear Angela sing just a little bit more? Okay, well, what you do, you enrol in another degree, and I promise you she'll be singing at your next graduation as well. I think Angela deserves another great round of applause. As do our fabulous musicians. On the trumpet over there, Melanie McLaughlin. And on the organ, Dr. James Forsyth. And also deserving of our thanks are our alumni volunteers who come along to our graduation ceremonies, and we have a lot of them each year, and they come along to make sure that everything goes smoothly at your graduation. Please join with me in thanking them. Well, graduates and ladies and gentlemen, it's now my pleasure to introduce our occasional speaker, Mr. Stuart Black, AM. Stuart has extensive experience in professional consultancies, including strategic planning, governance, financial and management accounting and corporate advisory, and now holds a number of board positions with both listed and unlisted companies, including not-for-profits. Stuart is a past president and a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants in Australia, a fellow of both CPA Australia and the Australian Institute of Company Directors. In the 2012 Queen's Birthday Honours list, Stuart was made a member of the Order of Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Black.
Chancellor, members of the University, graduates and guests. Nearly 37 years ago, I found myself like you, sitting here in this very same location, listening to an occasional address. I remember how excited I was. I was dressed up in a gown, mortarboard, having finished my studies and looking forward to a new career. I was so proud that my family was with me, sharing in a very exciting milestone in my life. I still have a picture of myself taken outside E7B, one of the fig trees, where I had my picture taken after the graduation, and I later took the pictures of my daughter and my son, who also graduated from Macquarie. I look back and I was very naive back then. I didn't have a clear picture of what I wanted for my career. Indeed, I really didn't understand what options were open to me. With the value of hindsight, I look back and I see how well my BA from Macquarie equipped me to take advantage of the many doors that were about to open for me. I would like to share with you some of my experiences and more importantly, what I have learned in the year since I graduated, in the hope that it may be useful to you. I came to Macquarie as it was the only university at that time that catered for part-time study. I needed to pay my own way through university, so on leaving school, I borrowed some money and I purchased a milk run. And I operated that from midnight to 7 a.m, 7 days a week. In my final 6 months of university, I sold the milk run and applied for a graduate position with Pete Marwick and Mitchell, now part of KPMG. I got the job because they needed a prop for the rugby grudge match with Coopers and Lybrand. It's not that easy these days. I did my professional year, now called the CA program, while employed in the audit section, and then married my wife on completion of my exams. I learnt so much about business in audit and took every opportunity to accept jobs others were not prepared to put their hands up for. I left Pete Marwick for the promise of a partnership in a small boutique accounting firm that specialised in agriculture, an area that had always interested me. In hindsight, this was the right move for me. It enabled me to become my own boss over time and played to my strength of dealing with people. Over the next 32 years, I had many careers within the one firm. It goes to prove that you don't need to job hop to gain experience. I was at one time the firm's expert in IT. I specialised in tax for a while, went on to develop my skills in business management, and eventually became the firm's managing partner. During this very busy period, I had 3 children. I involved myself with their schools, became a council member and treasurer of my son's school, a coach of many of the children's sporting teams. I also involved myself with the Institute of Chartered Accountants, joined the board, and eventually became president. I've continued my involvement with the accounting profession, becoming a member of the Accounting Professional Ethical Standards Board and a member of the International Federation of Accountants SMP Committee. As my children matured and I had more free time available, I involved myself in a number of charities, feeling that I had a responsibility to share my good fortune with others. What I learnt from volunteering was that you always get back more than you put in, whether it's new experiences, networks, friendships, or just feeling good about doing the right thing. I made a decision relatively early that I wanted to retire from my partnership before I was 60. Must sound so old for many of you. And start a new career as a professional director. I achieved this and now sit on 3 public company boards, which I find very satisfying. I also continue my work with the profession and not-for-profit sector to balance my time. So, what have I learned from my career? First, the importance of ethics. As the businessman, you sell your personal credibility. It's the one asset that cannot be involuntarily taken away from you. You may make a wrong business decision, you may lose your monetary assets, but if you retain your reputation, you can always rebuild. Identify the values important to you. Ask yourself, what do I stand for? And use this as your moral compass in decision making. Balance the competing demands of family, work, and friends. There is time for all, but weightings constantly change. And true success is a measure of how well you manage these relationships over time. This leads into leadership, how you develop relationships, when to delegate, when to lead, and when to step back for others to learn. One of my early mentors said to me, "You are only worth what you choose to do." And I'll say that again, you are only worth what you choose to do. What he meant was that if you choose to do the easy and mundane, repetitive work, rather than the high-value strategic work, don't expect to be paid for the high-value work. Accept that continued learning is a given in this day and age. Nothing stays the same, and you must continually recharge your knowledge banks if you keep up to date and grow. Don't wait for someone to spoon feed you. It's your responsibility to seek out knowledge as a knowledge worker. It's your tools of trade. Push outside your comfort zone. Believe in yourself and take every opportunity that comes your way. Do it to the best of your abilities, and if you make a mistake, learn from it and try again. Put others before yourself. You're in a service industry. Look after your client, look after your employer, look after your business, and the rewards will eventually flow to you. Trust is a valuable commodity and needs to be earned. Have patience. Share the fruits of your success. We have an obligation to reinvest in our community. This doesn't necessarily need to be by way of cash donations. Your time and knowledge is far more valuable and has the added value of improving your skill set and networks in the community. Remember that whilst intellectual power is important, it is not by itself a substitute for hard work, determination, and a good dose of emotional intelligence in being successful. Don't believe it when your parents tell you you're special. In business, you have to earn your success. It's not a right. Remember the friends you have met at uni, as this is the network of friends and business associates which will remain part of your life. Thank you all for the opportunity to return to Macquarie, and may I wish all the graduates success and happiness in their chosen endeavours, whatever that may lead you. Good luck.
Well, thank you, Stuart, for an excellent occasional address, and I'm sure all of our graduates will agree that there was some excellent advice there. And it is true, you do get back more than you put in. People who try to make a difference, who try to contribute, are always happier than those who just think about themselves. So remember Stuart's advice. I was interested to hear that Stuart was a milkman at some stage. Do we still have milkmen? I don't think so. I'm sure our young graduates won't remember the days without refrigeration, but I do. I can still remember when the Iceman would come twice a week, and so you needed the milkman to come every day so you had fresh milk. But these days we have refrigeration and we don't have any milkmen anymore. What a sad thing that is. Well, Stuart, thank you once again. I think Stuart deserves another great round of applause. And the milkmen were always superbly fit because they had to run from house to house. They had to do it very quickly. But I didn't know they started at midnight. Yeah, yes. If only, that's right. I won't comment on that. Well, now, graduates, the award of a university degree carries many opportunities and privileges. But like all privileges, it also carries responsibilities. Believe it or not, you, each and every one of you, can change the world. And you don't have to be a Nobel Prize winner to do it either, because almost everything you do in your homes, in your workplaces, and in your communities matters and can make a huge difference. The consequences of every effort, every action, large or small, can reverberate throughout society, through the decades, indeed the centuries. Even something as simple as a kind word or a kind gesture can often be the spark that ignites a great life or a great career or a great achievement. So, as Chancellor of Macquarie University, I charge you to use what you have learned not only for your own benefit, but also for the benefit of the community. I charge you to use the skills and knowledge you have acquired with rigour and integrity, and to commit yourselves to a program of lifelong learning and inquiry. I charge you to recognise the worth and dignity of all people, particularly those who have not had the opportunities that you have enjoyed. I charge you to set high goals and to continue the hard work that has brought you so far. I charge you, wherever you go, to go with all your heart, and in all you do, I charge you to uphold the good name of Macquarie University. Now, graduates, I hope also that you'll always remember the people who have helped you along the way, many of whom are here, of course, with you today, your families and friends. So to acknowledge their contribution and to thank them for it, I'm now going to ask you to do a couple of things. Graduates, would you please now stand? I'd like you now to put your degrees on the seats behind you so that your hands are free. And I'd like you to turn around to face your families and friends. And now I invite you to give them a mighty round of applause. Well, graduates, you can turn around now, but don't sit down because we'll be leaving in just a moment. Well, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, here on the stage too, we have some people I'm sure you'd like to thank them. They're the representatives of our academic staff who have helped you throughout your journey here at Macquarie. Please thank them as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the official party will now leave the graduation hall through the centre aisle and will be followed by all of the graduates. I would invite everyone to now please stand. And please remain standing until the last of the graduates have processed out. And then I hope you'll all join us in the marquee overlooking the lake for some light refreshments. We even have some ice creams for the children and for people like me. Well, now, graduates, I wish you the very best for the future. And in the words of the old Irish blessing, may the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Thank you and good luck.